Good evening and good morning, viewers from around the world. I'm Bolokom. Let me just take this opportunity to add my voice to the ongoing national conversation. Heard everything all of us have to talk about, heard everything we cry for, heard everything statements of Aluel Salva Kiir Mayardit. This is not South Sudan versus your family, Aluel. I believe your family is just like any other family of South Sudanese. The only problem here is that the nation is bleeding. The nation is crying for justice. The nation is asking, how could leaders such as Salva Kiir Mayardit, your father, allow such collapse of a nation? Nial Deng Nial is not an inside enemy. On behalf of National Alliance and all the oppositions leaders of South Sudan, I, Bolokom, would disagree on the narrative of how Aluel Salva Kiir Mayardit has described Nial Deng Nial. Nial Deng Nial is a South Sudanese with noble character. He is not an enemy within, as she had suggested. If there's one enemy that has failed South Sudan, it's your father, Salva Kiir Mayardit. Salva Kiir Mayardit made it impossible for all of us South Sudanese to unite, made it impossible for all of South Sudanese to find our purpose as a nation. So the notion that Nial Deng Nial is an enemy within, that's a totally misguided statement. As we go into the turn of century, your father will be remembered as a man that helped brought independence with the help of all the colleagues, including Nial, but failed to manage the country. Only chose to turn South Sudanese against themselves, use South Sudanese resources to benefit himself and his alliance association. So this is not a hatred to say so. This is more of a nation crying, finding its purpose. As we move forward to the 10th century, South Sudanese will some days come to realize they've been duped or misled to believe our nation is a beautiful country, except it only lacks leadership who have sole purpose to unite our people. Every kingdom comes and go. Every history that ever told by man, created by man, come and go. But be rest assured, your family history will be marked with tainted blood of so many innocents children who are starving right now on the street of Juba, refugees, and internal violence. That's the image the world will see of Salva Kiir Mayardit legacy. If that's the legacy you're trying to protect, that's the legacy the world will see. Nial Deng Nial frustration is a frustration of millions of all of us. He did not speak in disagreeing. He spoke in awakening our conscience as South Sudanese, suggesting that enough is enough. Country has been looted beyond repair, only benefiting few individual family. The whole government turned into personal business. So, as human beings, let's remind ourselves that we are each other brothers and sisters. No country on earth can be run by one family at the expense of millions of other people. So I dismiss the message suggested by Aluel Salva Kiir Mayardit as absolutely misguided statement. Misguided statement in a way that only fuel the anger of millions of South Sudanese who have been made silent over the years. As we search into our soul as South Sudanese, we'll always remember that when we took arms as revolutionaries, we took arms to be free, not to allow our own brothers and sisters to mistreat us against. We fought the Arabs, we created a country, we became independent. What is this? What difference does the Arabs and us and the current government make? Point is, the United Alliance and Deng Nial and Nial Deng Nial and all other South Sudanese who are unsatisfied with your father leadership will prevail. You can torture us, you can put us in jail, you can even kill us, but the spirit within us will never be killed. The spirit of the people of South Sudan, the very people who liberated this country, now that you and your family enjoy, you and your family squandered for personal gain, you and your family turn into personal business, you will not prevail. It's just a matter of time before South Sudanese conscience are awakened. And this conversation is the beginning of too many conversations we'll have here on social media. And to many South Sudanese who are listening, far, near, home, and abroad, our story has been one of the most painful stories ever told in a man's history. We've been helped by so many people. We've been helped by so many world leaders. And the idea to reduce all the kindness of the society into one-man power defeats the purpose of the whole entire liberation struggle. Ask yourself, what benefit did you get after independence as a South Sudanese? I'm sure some of you watching me, you have mothers, fathers, brothers who have lost life, road to independence. You have family members who are now living refugee camp, in Kakuma refugee camp, in Bidi camp, internally displaced. And here we are, digging our head in the sand, pretending God bless South Sudan, everything is okay. I believe we have been misled. I believe it is time we, the massive generations of this voiceless society, need to wake up our conscience and speak out. We can no longer be a silent majority to allow minority to continue to foolish us. We can no longer allow a country that has been bloody fought, paid for by price of so many lives, to be handed to one single family, Kir Mayardit family. Kir Mayar has only done one thing that he knows how to do: turn all of us against each other. Disagree with him, you'll be called a rebel. Or you'll be called one of those Garang boys. There are so many good men Kir Mayar have abandoned. Know how to use you very well. Once finished with you, will just abandon you on the roadside, as if you never even matters. Men like Paul Malong Awan, use, abandon. Men like Gerald Akolkor, use, abandon. Men like Honorable Nial Deng Nial, use and abandon. Men like Kwal Manyang, use and abandon. Men like Owen Akut, use and abandon. Men like Thomas Cirillo, use and abandon. Men like Dr. Riek Machar, use and abandon. Men like Wani Igat, use and abandon. And we are told we cannot talk about it, because if you open your mouth and talk about it, you will be perceived as a rebel and you'll be perceived as a state enemy. Okay, let's face it. Either we die silent as South Sudanese, or we speak as a society, as a nation. Fellow countrymen, our country has become a laughing joke over the world. Last time I serviced our nation diplomatic missions in Washington, D.C. and New York, We used to be very proud South Sudanese. We used to be welcome in palaces around the world. Our voices matters. Right now, you can go to the same United Nations hall that I used to go to. You become a laughing joke. Nobody see you important anymore. Because no matter what you say, it is contradicted by what we do back at home. And yet, we're not learning anything from over the years mistakes we have done to ourselves. And now what? When men like Nial Deng Nial become frustrated and left the mother SPLM, it wasn't because SPLM was not a good noble cause. All of us, including Bolakom, some days in the future will all leave SPLM because, number one, the SPLM vision, I'm told, is dead with John Garang. So what is Salva Kiir Mayardit vision of SPLM Chapter 2? If there's any vision Salva Kiir have in SPLM Chapter 2, it's only to destroy, dismantle everything SPLM Chapter 1 was all about. Reason why he is alienating all the generals, embarrassing all the hard-working men and women of the defense force. We are the only country that leave our own military and go and hire Ugandan to come and protect us, as if the men in uniform don't have the ability to be able to protect themselves. We are the only country on the face of the earth that launched military attack against our own civilian. Many hospitals are now full with injuries of our own creation war. This is how Salva Kiir Mayardit benefit. As long as there's chaos, he benefits from that chaos and his family. Well, my message and message of millions others will be, now our consciences are open. This conversation is far from over, and will not stop talking to let your family take advantage of million life loss and narrative of road to independence, and use that as a platform to attack individuals. If you truly wanted to live in a South Sudan where unity prevails, look around you. When was the last time you ever went to UNIMIS camp, Aluel? When was the last time you ever helped anybody? And when was the last time, definitely, you care? And you're telling us, South Sudanese, my father's legacy. What legacy Salva Kiir will have? The only legacy that will be known of him is a president who failed his own country. It's a president who allowed criminals, organized group, to be in his government, and sideline all the liberations struggle leaders. You name any person Salva Kiir Mayardit disagree, he will be labeled as a state enemy. Now that I have spoken, I'm sure I will have a bunting head in my head as also a state enemy. For how long we South Sudanese will continue to fear having the real conversation? So, my people, I ask of you to disagree, but politely. Aluel, you should be ashamed of yourself to call people name. If there's any enemy in South Sudan that destroyed our country, it's your family. Your family looted the country, benefit from it, made businesses at the expense of millions of South Sudanese life, at the expense of the country development. Tell me one achievement that deserves legacy of your father. One achievement. If independence was the only achievement your father have done, it was all of us, the voices of South Sudan, who created that independence. If there was a national conversation that was achieved, it was all of us South Sudanese. If there was a war of revolution that was fought, it was all of us who paid the ultimate price. So who are you to decide who is not a South Sudanese, or who's now being labeled as an enemy within? The so-called enemy within are the frustrated sons and daughters of South Sudan on the directions of the country vision. What vision does your father have toward South Sudan? Name anything, name one grade your father can be given. I can assure you, Alwell, and the rest of Salva Kiir Mayardit family, that we don't hate you. You guys are beloved South Sudanese like any others. But when it comes to national conversation, we are a wounded country, we are in pain, we become a laughing joke globally. We are now divided across ethnic line, tribal class. We are divided between poor and rich. And South Sudanese will never heal as long as your father and yourself and everybody else who are looting the country continue to be in the leadership. So, I must end over here. But expect this conversation far from over. There will be foot soldiers like myself included in exile who will continue to use this platform and will continue to shame your father and the government of South Sudan to failing their own citizen. No country on earth that I'm aware of created internal crisis, allowed refugees to live within their own country, and continue to ask for United Nations. The reason United Nations is not coming to help us anymore is because there's nothing at all they find interesting to help. Because every small dime the UN gives ends up in some individual pocket. Every initiative the world is asking South Sudan, only when in-depth hears of the policies in J1. So it is true, the whole entire world is frustrated. It is true, we South Sudanese, we are also frustrated. And the conversation Nial Deng Nial has just made us aware of is the beginning of the end of the regime itself. Because no country on earth will ever survive, no leadership will ever survive at the expense of their own citizen. And this is exactly what you will continue to hear. I'll not be the last, and I'll not be the first to say it. Millions like me will reach out to other millions, and before you realize, J1 days will be numbered. May God bless South Sudan. May God bless all of you, my people. Let's continue to share thought together. See where we agree and see where we disagree. I will continue to invest my time in United Alliance opposition. If my presence will help bring about awareness, I look forward to share my thought. Thank you.